So I want a big round of applause for Thomas Leder.
Hi everyone, my first time here. Very excited to talk to you all today about, well, rhythm. I'm not sure whether I was picked specifically because I'm the co-founder of Rhythm Studio, and it just happens to be that my company name has the same topic. But in any case, I'm here to talk to you today. The format today is going to be a little bit of my personal journey and how I got to where I am today, how I'm running a company, how I'm a professional swing dancer, and I'd like to teach you guys a little bit about what I think rhythm is musically, in art, in all the different ways that we can think about rhythm. All right, I can get my notes out just to make sure I don't miss anything, and then we can get started. Nice. All right, everyone's holding coffee cups. Can we find a place to put them down? And I'd like everyone just to clap once. Let's try that one more time. Clap, and nice and sharp, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do a bit of a rhythm exercise to show that you guys already have rhythm. It's something I teach in classes as well. I'm gonna clap a pattern, and then you guys are gonna follow along. It's gonna be over 8 counts, so I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna clap something to 8 counts, and then you're gonna follow along for the second 8 counts. So let's try something really basic to start with. I'll count at the same time. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, again, me first, and then you join in. We'll try one more time, that same thing. So silence first. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2. Awesome, let's keep going. Oh, okay. Stop after the 8 counts. Yeah. Then it's my turn. So we're gonna do something different, yeah. 7, 8, 1. Nice. Oh. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Nice. Some Latin people around you there that could understand that rhythm maybe. One more time. Cool. Hey! Well done. One more time, we'll try that. It's a common response. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba. Awesome. That rhythm is a bit special. It's called Shave and a Haircut, 2 bits. It's a very original rhythm from like the 1910s, maybe 1920s. Nobody knows why it's called that way, but it's used for comedic effect. If someone tells a joke, you ba ba da ba 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 ba. Yeah. Cool. All right, so just proving to you guys that you all have rhythm. I'm going to take this mic back as well. Yeah. All right. So that was a bit of a fun thing. We do that in class as a nice way for people to understand the core response nature of dancing, of music, and just showing you guys that you all have that idea of like, let's count to 8, let's repeat it, basically. All right. A little bit about me. I was born in Hong Kong, bit of a third culture kid. My dad's British, my mum's Malaysian. I went to international school, so unfortunately I don't really feel that part of the Hong Kong culture. My Cantonese is siu siua, not so great. But I live in Hong Kong, so I'm happy to be here and happy to be back. I consider myself a bit of a creative. When I first got back to Hong Kong from university, I studied in the UK, University of Nottingham. I came back here and I actually studied mechanical engineering, but I didn't want to get into that for my life. But in university, I was into radio. So when I got back here, I actually started working for RTHK Radio 3. Had a great time there, presenting, learning a lot of skills that I can take forward into the later parts of my life. And around that same time, I actually started swing dancing in Hong Kong. The only organization for swing dancing back then was an organization, Hong Kong Swings. They're still around today. You can still go dance with Hong Kong Swings every Wednesday night at Fringe Club. I still go there quite often. I still volunteer with that organization. But about 4 or 5 years ago, they decided to stop doing classes, so I opened Rhythm Studio, and I started to pursue this idea a bit more professionally and started teaching myself. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. Let's move on. This is a short intro. Click. All right. To give you guys a bit of context about what swing dancing is, we have to go back in time. So here is hopefully a brief history of swing dancing and jazz music theory and how it influenced modern trends in music and dancing today, with roots tracing back to West African tribal dances and Black American history. It's a bit of a wind, but hopefully we can get it into like maybe 1 or 2 minutes. All right, so swing dancing, it's Black American dance, originating in the United States. The first examples of this dance we can see is around late 1910s, and we can see examples of it in movies, basically, where people have been dancing this dance, and we see some early versions going on. The dance itself has been alive for over 100 years, and it's had the most popularity between the 1920s to 1940s, around the time that jazz music, and specifically swing jazz music, was popular. It originated in New York, around Harlem. There were lots of dance halls back then. And the thing is, about the only thing you could do back then was go drinking at bars or maybe go dancing, so in a ballroom. And originally they had like, you know, classic ballroom dancing, Latin ballroom dancing, and the waltz, the tango, and stuff like that. But the Black American culture was not so on board with that style. It was a very white-dominated style of dance. So they started to come up with their own thing. And hence these dance halls started to exist. On the top there, you can see the Savoy Ballroom. And that was perhaps the biggest ballroom there was. Every single night, there'd be dancing there, and they'd have like 2,000 people in that ballroom. It was a ridiculously popular, 2,000 people a night of people dancing. And the Savoy Ballroom was also one of the rare ballrooms where there wasn't any segregation. In other ballrooms in New York City, they had 2 levels or 2 entrances. So one for the black people to come in and one for the white people. And often a lot of the white people would be going to like a balcony area so they could watch the dancing rather than take part. But the Savoy Ballroom was different in that they had one entrance for both black and white people, and they actually had black and white people dancing together. So it was a nice kind of forward-thinking idea of the dance. And even today, like we like to be very open and inclusive to everyone, including the LGBT community. And we have ideas about lead and follow. They don't have to be gendered as well. So I'm both a lead and a follow myself, and I can switch dance. Yeah, a little bit more about the pictures, I guess. So there's a few things we want to point out that I felt were really important to point out. 2 of them are the dancers. Perhaps the most famous ones we know of are Frankie Manning at the top there and Norma Miller at the bottom. They're part of the second generation of swing dancers, and they're the ones that really developed the dance and made it the popular dance it was today. The first generation, they of course invented the dance and they made it really cool. But these guys are what made it popular and performed around New York and around the country and even around Europe as well. They'd win to go perform in Europe. Frankie Manning also helped out bring the dance to the modern age around the 80s, when for some reason a bunch of Swedish people decided to get into the dance. They started watching old videos and started to try and copy them, and they actually contacted Frankie Manning. They somehow found his address. They sent him a mail. He was working as a postmaster at the time, and they said, hey, can you please help us learn this dance? And ever since then, Frankie Manning was like traveling around the world. He went to Europe, he went to Asia, and he was helping to teach. He's unfortunately passed away by now. He would have been like 105 years old, I think, at this time. But we still celebrate him today, and we have we celebrate him with Frankie Manning Day as well on the 30th of May. Norma Miller, one of the other famous dancers. It wasn't actually Frankie Manning's dance partner, but she was also very, very good. And she's brought some routines, some choreographies. They were both also part of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, which was perhaps the most famous performing troupe at the time. And they were the ones that traveled around the US and the world performing swing dancing. All right. So what is swing dancing? We've talked about the history, but we haven't really talked about what exactly this dance is. In a nutshell, it's an improvised social dance. There's, of course, some solo jazz elements of this, but most of the time it's danced with a partner, and it's entirely improvised. There's no choreography involved. There are, of course, some conventions that we like to follow with connection and idea. But when we get onto the floor and we ask perhaps someone random to dance, we don't know what we're going to do. There's a lead-follow relationship. Of course, if in this sort of idea, you still have to have someone that's deciding the direction. But as a follower, you're not just like, oh, I'm just going to follow the steps. You still have some control about what you want to do and how you want to express yourself. It's a very expressive dance. It's very individual. There's not really wrong answers. It's not codified. We don't have like a level system. We're not like, hey, level 1 is you do a swing out, level 2 is you can do fast dancing. It's a street dance. So you can copy it and do your best. Of course, we try and teach you guys how to get there. But of course, it's a little bit more difficult to talk about the exact number of steps. It's just you learn and hopefully organically you get to become a better dancer. The dance itself is easily recognized by the rhythm of the music. It's done to swing jazz music. And if you're at all familiar with jazz music, you might have heard that which is the symbol of the ride cymbal. You can see that on the right-hand side. That's the ride cymbal. That's normally what we do there. And we reflect it with our footwork as well. There's a very specific step called the triple step where we go triple step, and it's like very syncopated. It's not cha-cha-cha, 1 and 2. It's da-da-da, long, short, short. And a lot of our dancing is based around that rhythm of the ride cymbal and our footwork. Any dance that's done to swing music is a swing dance. So some examples, the most famous one is Lindy Hop, which is what we dance most of all. That was around the 1930s to 40s. Earlier before that, we had Charleston with lots of kicks. And you might have recognized maybe this move where you go like boom, which is the 20s style of Charleston. And you might have seen that in sort of Great Gatsby, maybe if you've seen that movie. There's also authentic solo jazz, where you're just dancing on your own. There's Balboa, there's shag dancing, and probably many more different types of swing dancing that I'm not that familiar with. All right. Dances itself are also part of the rhythm section of the music. The rhythm section being the piano, the bass, the drums, the guitar, and they're in control of holding down the beat for the melody players, the horn players, to play some stuff around. And as dancers, we like to consider ourselves part of that rhythm section because we have a lot of rhythm in our footwork and our movements. Okay. How I started, I already went over this briefly. I started around 2012 with Hong Kong Swings. Basically, it was actually my sister that dragged me down at the time to Grappa's in Jardine House. It was a bit strange to come into this world where you have a 30-minute taster class and then you just say, go ahead, ask people to dance. It was nothing like I'd ever experienced before. I was just coming out of uni at the time, so I was more used to going to clubs and jumping up and down to music, which wasn't really dancing, I guess. You're just dancing, jumping to the beat. But having this context and these rules, I really brought me into the dance, and of course I really loved the music as well. My first exposure to swing music wasn't authentic swing. I used to DJ for beer money in university, and one of the gigs I did was electro swing music, which is not really swing music. It's just sampling swing music and then putting a beat over it because there's not much rhythm in it. It's just like a boom, 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 instead of a little bit more swing rhythm, which we'll get into later. After I started learning with Hong Kong Swings, there was a limit to the level that we could get there, so I started traveling around. It's surprising, this hidden world of Lindy Hop and swing dancing around the world. Every single week, there is a big international event going on somewhere. And you can get 200 to 1,000 dancers at these events, and they're all swing dancers. It's just one weekend, 3 nights of parties, 8 hours of workshops, and I spent all of my money on that while working, pretty much. And I just had a fantastic time, just my first few years of dancing, just traveling the world and getting to find out all these new places and find out all these new amazing dancers and just enjoying meeting people. Yeah. And of course, I mean, at the end there, like I was very committed. I was doing 10 to 30 hours of dancing a week, either social dancing, practicing, choreographing, or sometimes teaching as well. All right, let's move on. I thought I'd open up to the audience a little bit and find out what your ideas of what rhythm is. You can just call out, I'm not going to point at you, well maybe I need to point at you, but we'll see, we'll just see, what do you guys think rhythm is? No wrong answers, probably.
Beauty of predictability.
That's a nice one, yeah, I like that.
Well,
Yes?
it's like the structure of music.
Yeah, okay. Any others? I have a very little difference.
Apparently babies like it in the womb.
Yes, you've seen people like put headphones on the belly, right, just to move around. All right, yeah, not that bad ideas. I like the predictability. That is a very important part of rhythm, I think. I mean, a very literal definition. It's an arrangement of sounds, movements, or events consistent with the flow of a beat. So the predictability comes into that as well. Like, for example, in the rhythm section, we have different roles for the instruments. One of the things that keeps the beat going is the bass, where they play something called a walking bass, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they also keep the chords going. The drums can help accent that with their own bass drum, but they also have some fills with the ride cymbal. They have that swing rhythm. The snare drum is kind of filling in and just being more interesting texture. The piano will help keep the chords going, and the guitar also helps keep that 1, 2, 3, 4 rhythm going. And in general, like, I think everyone here has some degree of rhythm in their lives, whether it's music, maybe dance, poetry. Beat poetry has some rhythm to it. Even just the way a regular poem is arranged, there's some rhythm there. Film, literature, even the way we speak, there's some rhythm to it. Like, every language has its own intricacies about the way we present ourselves, the way we talk to other people, and it would be weird if we didn't have that kind of maybe going down at the end of a sentence to finish our thing, or going up to ask a question. There's rhythm there as well. All right, let's move on. All right, swing rhythm itself is a little bit of a weird idea. I don't know, are there any musicians in the house perhaps? Yes, okay. Well, just one. Have you seen that before?
I can't read music.
You can't read music, oh no. A musician, are you a singer then, is that why?
No, bass player.
Oh, bass player. All right, there's normally singers that can't read music, weirdly enough. So this here is what we'd normally see in notation of music. If you see that at the top, normally it says swing, and then we have something that looks like these are quavers on the left-hand side, and it's basically saying that the quavers are uneven. As an example, I'll say 8 quavers in a row. Da 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 da. That's normal rhythm. That's normally what you hear in classical music. If you see that same notation written out would have to be like da 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 da, and that's basically swing rhythm. It's the lilting feeling. It's a bit flowy. It creates a sense of movement, and it really makes it very easy for us to feel and dance to. And it's very hard for musicians actually to understand that rhythm when they're first learning, because like most of the time you're classically trained, and you won't get that lilting feel. But once you get it, then you can really feel it. And most people, when they hear a song, they will start moving to it, and they won't realize that the feel of the music, that they actually are moving in a swing feeling until like maybe someone tells them, oh, that's swing, you know, sort of thing. All right, back to me again a little bit. So we're moving forwards in time from when I first started to, the founding of Rhythm Studio and how I started teaching. I started teaching for Hong Kong swings first when they were still doing classes with my partner, Aurore. The teaching style I like to focus on was a lead-follow relationship. So a little bit of, I talked about it earlier, that idea that we can communicate with each other without basically talking. I like to say that asking someone for a dance in swing dancing is like having a conversation with your partner, a 3-minute conversation, without saying a single word. Because we have different elements of connection, different elements of communication that we can say, hey, let's move in that direction without saying, let's go in that direction. And there's lots of different intricacies for how that works. And to do that, you'd have to come to my classes to learn everything. But that was the focus of our teaching, is like creating that awesome relationship that we can just do something that's unusual, weird, and cool, and be like, what? Just look back on it and say, wow, that really happened. And I love those moments in dancing. My own style was inspired by dancers all over the world. As I said, I traveled everywhere. Most of it actually comes weirdly from German dancers, where I used to go to an event there called Swing Summits. And we learned from a lot of German dancers, and that's where I got a lot of the ideas from. But of course, I've learned from Black American dancers, I've learned from European dancers, I've learned from people in Asia, and brought it all together into what I call the philosophy of dance. All right. Founding Rhythm Studio. Unfortunately, there was 3 years of COVID, which kind of put a big halt in the dance community in Hong Kong. We had to stop, not only because it wasn't safe, but because the government said so. And around that time, there are breaks in the moments of COVID, so we tried to get dancing going again several times. I think there was like 3 different times where we were allowed to dance. And during that time, Rhythm Studio was already founded, and we had to basically restart. Some of our students stayed with us through those whole 3 years. So we do a class cycle with them, and they'd say, yeah, this is really fun. And then COVID would come up again, then we'd have to stop dancing, and then we'd start again. And basically, we're starting from ground zero because it's been a few months since we last had our students. So I really have to thank the people who stayed with us throughout all that time. And right now, they're still dancing, still learning with us, and they've been really amazing and grown with us through that whole time. Rhythm Studio itself is focused on specifically teaching the dance, and we also have a bit of a performing aspect as well. So we try and do professional performances with other people. We hire live bands to do events for people. We do like company dinners and stuff like that. We teach for team building. So that's our focus at Rhythm Studio. Being an entrepreneur is the first time I've tried to run a business is Rhythm Studio. It's been a bit of a journey. I have to look back on all my life experience to do it, because Rhythm Studio is currently a limited company with just 2 employees. So I'm in charge of accounting, of admin, of registration, of actually teaching the dance, organizing. My partner helps out with that, of course, but she also has a full-time job on the side. But I'm sure there's some entrepreneurs out there that also realize the difficulties of running a business, but I think we're doing pretty well so far. Let's go on. All right, swing today. Swing dancing today, since COVID is pretty much over. I mean, it's still around, but we're all back to normal life. It's been going pretty well. Locally, we still have weekly socials. Hong Kong Swings is still running a fringe club night every Wednesday night. We still go there quite often to do some dancing. It's great fun. Rhythm Studio, we do monthly parties. Every month we do a nice big party in a dance studio with a great floor. We get like 50 to 80 people coming down there. So it's very nice to see our students go and have a good time. We have performances, we teach a little bit there. Sometimes we have live music. We like to do larger events every few months. So just recently we had 2 international instructors come by about 3 weeks ago. And we did, a very similar thing to those international events I was talking about. We had a weekend of parties and 8 hours of workshops just for the local scene to kind of get new exposure to different ideas. Internationally, swing dancing has never been bigger than now. Pretty much every week you can find a swing dance event in America, in Europe, in Asia. Where you get a set of instructors coming down, you have live music, you have 3 nights of parties, you dance from like 9 p.m. till 5 in the morning sort of thing. It's pretty intense. There's dancing in every major city in the world, from New York, where it originally started, to Hong Kong, to China. And weirdly enough, the biggest swing dance community that I know of is based in Seoul, in South Korea. I'm not sure why that is. I think it's just because when Koreans commit to an activity, they commit to an activity. Like, it's their second job pretty much. They, like the dancing schedule there is when you sign up, they do 3 hours a week at minimum. But yeah, the Korean dances are really fantastic. And if you ever look up swing dancing on YouTube, you'll probably see some Korean dancers somewhere. And of course, there's also international competitions. The 2 big ones I put up there's ILHC, International Lindy Hop Championships, and Savoy Cup, both of which I've taken part in and actually won some prizes in as well. All right. Cool, I think that's about it. That's it from me. I still have 3 minutes left or something, right? That's all right. But I think we can move on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let me just, sorry. A little bit, last bit of promo. You can see my Instagram down there. I'm way more active on Rhythm Studio HK, so you can follow us there if you want. Otherwise, there's a QR code that probably doesn't work. It's a little bit blurry, but you can look up rhythmstudiohk.com for more information. And actually, tomorrow we have a big event if you're interested in trying out some dancing. If you go to our website and look at events, you can look up Saturday Night Swing, and we have a taster class going on from 8:30 p.m. So you can get a taste of the dance, and that'll hopefully take you through the rest of the night of dancing. Yeah.
Awesome. Who doesn't feel like dancing right now? I do.
Savoy Cup was just inspired from the name. So the ballroom itself closed down, I think, in the 1970s. So unfortunately, the Savoy Ballroom does not exist anymore, but we still have lots of historical pictures of it. And yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have time for some questions. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah. All right.
Just based on your way of explaining how to learn the dance, you said that there is not much structure.
Yeah.
It's basically learning a few things and then you go and try things.
Yeah.
If people do that, but then they feel that they're not learning too much, like how do you keep people motivated to keep going and keep trying?
Right.
Because there is not like a structure to follow.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that back. So the way our classes are formatted is from the very get-go, we like to focus on, again, that lead-follow relationship. So there's building blocks to this dance, and one of the things I like to talk about is everything in sets of 2 counts. So the triple step, for example, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And then we have something called a rock step, so 1, 2. And then you can put them together into patterns. So we have our basic 6-count pattern, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, which is 6 counts. And so we build up in that sense. So from like lesson 1, people already have those building blocks for creating dances. And there are these patterns that they can do. So it's not like there's no, when I said there's no structure, I mean there's no codified way of learning this dance. It's just everything else is built up on the things before it, and you'll be able to find that you can social dance no matter what. Yeah.
Thank you for talking. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I've never really I've seen, I guess, on clips on YouTube, maybe of swing dance and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure that everybody would love to see you do a demo. Show Mark some moves, maybe, and maybe we can learn a bit more here.
Yeah, we can try. I can try and teach you a little bit. Yeah. Do you want to try?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Let's put this.
Do we
down.
need music?
I think the easiest way for this to work is if you're going to be a follow, I'm going to be a lead.
Okay.
Again, this is a not gendered dance. Yeah. So no matter what, you can do what.
Okay.
So we're going to take it a little bit simple first.
Okay. I like that.
So let's just do slow. Yeah. So we're
Okay.
gonna. If everyone wants to, if you're standing up, you can join in at the same time. No worries.
All
right.
right, we can all
Yeah. Yeah. So take your. So Mark,
You guys
just go
already
to
standing?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
So yeah. So we're going to go. We're just going to do slow steps. We're going to go this way
Okay.
first. We're going to boom, slow, and slow. Nice, yeah? I'm gonna go count to 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, and we're gonna double time our steps. So we're gonna go 5, 6, 7, and a quick. Nice, well done. 6, 7, and slow. Nice. All right. On 1 again, we're gonna do 2 counts of quicks. 5, 6, 7, and a quick, slow. Nice. 5, 6, 7, and a quick, slow. 6, 7, and a quick, slow. Right. Let's keep that pattern going. Slow. Yes. So if we count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Sorry, unfortunately we did the wrong way. All right, so I'm gonna go in here. You're gonna put your arm just here. We're gonna connect like this. We're gonna do the same footwork, except we're gonna start with a quick, and we're gonna start quick, slow. Yeah, let's try. 5, 6, 7, and a quick, slow. Quick, slow. Nice. Let's change that quick to be a rock step. So we're going to go back now.
Got it.
Back here. Back, step, slow. Nice. Back, step, slow. Just try and think about straight behind, straight back. Yeah? Hey. And then we can start moving around a little bit. Hey. Hey. Let's try turn. Hey. Yeah. Nice, well done. Yeah, so just the basic thing that's normally that's our taster class, half hour, taken down to just 20 seconds. You did a good job. Yeah, not bad. Yeah. Yeah, of course we normally have a little bit more time. Cool. If you want to put on some music, I can do a short demo. I'll do a choreography this time actually. Can I give you a song?
Yes, please.
Jive at 5. I have danced here before. There's jazz jams here on Wednesday nights, and we sometimes come down here and we force them to play swing jazz music instead of every jazz music, and we can do some dancing to swing jazz music. It's nice. And yeah, I'd recommend, my favorite night to come here is Wednesday nights, but of course Friday and Saturdays is also really fun as well. Yeah. Oh, I also play, by the way. I play drums.
Also, just
Yeah.
finding music.
Yeah.
Can you explain the differences between Lindy Hop, swing, jazz, jive? Because I was having a conversation and trying to...
Lindy Hop and...
Lindy Hop, swing, jazz, jive, those...
Right. Okay, so I'll take this back. So the three things you mentioned just now, swing dancing, as I said earlier, is any type of dance done to swing music. Lindy Hop is the specific type of dancing that is like under the umbrella of swing. And that involves the triple steps and rock steps I was just showing there, and what we just did with Mark. I call that Lindy Hop. Jive music is a ballroom dance, actually. And it's kind of, ballroom is a bit weird. Basically, ballroom dancing, they take all these other styles of dancing, like salsa or the Latin dances, tango, Argentinian tango, or even Lindy Hop, and they decided, I'm going to copy that, but I'm going to only copy specific parts of that dance. So ballroom jive dancing has a lot of similarities to Lindy Hop and swing dancing, but it's much more upright, it's a lot more choreographed, it's a lot more partnered. Like, for example, Lindy Hop we're down here, but jive would be like, and it's a lot more knees going on there. So yeah, that's just the difference in those types of dances specifically, but of course every type of dance has individualities. Yeah. All right.
Is there something called West Coast?
Yes, West Coast swing. West Coast swing is what happens when white people try to codify swing dancing. It was made by a dancer called Dean Collins in around the 1940s. Yeah, we'll get started in a bit. And West Coast swing is basically, the idea for West Coast was not only codifying swing, but kind of evolving with the music. So it was originally danced to swing music, but as music evolved and popular music changed, it started becoming adapted to whatever the music was. And the West Coast community in the world is actually much bigger than the authentic swing dancing community in the world. And they have really codified the dance. The competition, they have levels for competitions. You start at novice, and then you have to win a comp to get to intermediate, and so on and so forth. I do know a little bit of West Coast, but it's not really my passion. Yeah. Cool, you heard about that. There's no West Coast dancing. I mean, there's some, like 1 or 2 people that do West Coast in Hong Kong, but it's not that big here. Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun. I know it looked awkward, but it's actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
Can you repeat again? When was the event you talked about? Perfect. Then we're at the final part of today, and I want to invite Nick over because, as usual, Nick made a beautiful paper cutting as a little thank you. And here's
Oh, wow.
the big
That's really cool.
reveal.
That's awesome.
So if you go on his website or his Instagram, the Rhythm Studios logo is like it's basically this shape, but with
Yeah.
a dancing shoe inside.
Yeah.
So I've replaced the dancing shoe with him. So it's kind of a nod to the NBA logo, but instead of Jerry West, it's you.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it's got like 3 different
Yeah.
shades of gray to show like you were wearing this like waistcoat kind of thing. I think
That's
you
really
took
cool.
the picture was from M Plus, right? It was in the.
Oh, it was an M+, yeah.
Very cool photos.
Yeah. Cool, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'll show this as well.
Maybe you on the
We'll
side.
do a quick one. Okay.
Okay.
Sweet. Thanks. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
One forward.
Thank you so much. This is
Okay, big round of applause for Nick. Nick, thank you very much.